It says we're going live. Are we live? Hopefully, I think. Oh, nope. I think we were correct. We were right the right before, right? Are we live? Is the mic working? I don't know if the mic's working. We'll have to see how it goes. Anywho, you guys know the routine. Sunday, happy Sunday to you. I hope you're having a great weekend. Jumped on just to say hello. If anybody's got questions, comments, getting in the business, getting out of the business, starting another business, let me know. Let me know. Anything. What are you guys seeing out there? Any problems? What kind of problems have you ran into with the garage door stuff, trucks, trailers, equipment, scissor lift. Let me make sure everything's going good. I'm just kind of uploading some videos here, playing around with some stuff. So I wanted to say hello. Hello, Moto. Let's see here. If I can find it. D. There we go. That's the one. All right. What's up, Rusty? How you doing today? I forget, were you working Saturday? Were you doing something Saturday? I can't remember. Mr. Tony, you're present. How the kiddos? Still got a house full? Mine just exited the building, so I get a little bit of quiet time. The kids had a few friends over, which was great. They played really nice together, so that was awesome. Plus, they were outside. They're actually going to a park, so that'll be fun. At a funeral? They do funerals on Sundays? I didn't know they did funerals on Sundays. Sorry to hear that. That's not no fun. I don't know if I've ever been at a funeral on Sunday. I don't see why not. Is that at a church? Is that I forget what one place we have around here. They're pretty big, but they got a really nice facility. It's not a church though. Tony, or should I say viewing? Oh, have a 2-hour wait. Gotcha. What's up, Freeze? I was just thinking about you today. Got the fan, man. That thing's been going 24 hours a day. The fan's just holding up strong. So you recommended a good one. It way outlasted the Amazon. The Amazon one. Oh. Wake. That's what Rich B. What's up, Rich B? Rich B, get the shingles taken care of. Styling the Genie Cup. Still got them. Let's see here. Rusty's got. What's Rusty got? Fixed a few here. It says fixed 2 on Saturday. Checked 8 commercial doors for service this week. Overhead. Never added a strut. Wow. And top section are Boeing. Tony's seen it. Really? That's weird. I'm still curious. We're gonna, just so you guys know, that we're shooting for it. It's penciled in, right? It's penciled in. Wink, wink. It's penciled in for Tuesday of this week. We're gonna get with Papa Tony and cousin Evan. We're all gonna jump on and we're gonna grill cousin Evan. We're gonna grill him on his garage door. No, I'm just joking. He did a good job. There's a few things I think he could do that would make life a little easier. So we'll see. I don't want to do a spoiler alert. His had struts, or it had I don't even know what it's called. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It was like a strap or something. It's like you put blocks on and you put like a strap just on a 16x7 door, I believe. Steel back. I was like, what is that? I was like, does that even work? I mean, I'm still trying to think in my head like how that works, but then it seems like if you push it, I don't know what the benefits are. There are pros or there's cons, or they're just all cons. I feel like he told me what it was too. Maybe he'll jump on. There he is. There's the man himself, Mr. Evan. The strap has tension. Yes. I figured it does, but I don't really understand. Like, you could make like a whole video on how that thing works. You know what I mean? Like how you tighten it. Do you just move the blocks till it tightens up, or do you shim the blocks? Like I said, we can always try to talk about it more on Tuesday too. So. Overhead struts. Press all rollers and a few sets of cables. Were the cables rusty, or were they frayed? I'm just curious. I gotta bring this up. It's on my head right now. Talking about cables, because I really don't feel like I ever hear much from you guys, and I don't even think I've seen a video out there. And if you guys know a video, send it to me. I'd love to see it. But I think I've only seen it with Amar. Amar actually has left hand and right hand cables. And excuse me, we had an issue with a customer. I believe it was an outside hookup. I can't remember if it was low headroom. I'm assuming that's why we had outside hookups. But it was a tire place, so they're using the door quite a bit. And they just, this one side would keep fraying and coming, you know, when it does the weird spiral thing, like it looks like a slinky type thing, like you stretched it out funny. So finally, I believe Cap ordered some, I think it was right hand instead of, left hand. And once they put that on, never had a problem. So I guess my question is like, is there really that big a difference between a left hand, right hand? And I told him, I said, can't you just flip the cable? Like if you just like, and he's like, no, he's like, that it doesn't work that way. I'm like, that's just weird. So I think there is something to it. And what did we do? We did one at the road commission. And that one was a little goofy, but we ended up doing both. But we were wondering about that again. It's just something we never do enough consistently that we can say absolutely. I thought I did see something a long time ago, but I don't think it was for garage doors. They were just talking about cable in general. I don't remember. Got so much happening right now, he says, and I just learned that the Wayne Dalton 91 has what is it? The 91 has hinge support, or is it no hinge support? Because the 9000 series they're kind of like there's no salvaging, like a pop can. Once they take a hit, good luck. You know what I mean? Looked. Oh, insurance company. Okay. Looked, waiting on the report. New roof. You tell Jake from State Farm, new roof. You watch all those videos where those adjusters come out. It's kind of a joke. Let me know how it goes, Rich B. I'd like to know. I like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They're going to jerk you around. Never had to deal with that part. I don't even know what you can really do or can't do. Says the strap has tension. Replaced. Hopefully I don't miss anybody here. Don't think so. I've seen those straps, but I don't understand them. Me too. I don't understand them either. I can see one way, like how the strap can kind of like keep it. But then I think about like the opposite way and I go, what's the point of that? Like I go, to me, and I guess I just wonder too from like a manufacturer, like what's the reason? Like they go, well, we can sandwich the whole thing together versus two struts stacked together. It's in a roll. I doubt it. I don't think it's in a roll. Was it in a roll, Evan? Or is it straight? It was just flat stock. I'm just curious. I just don't know if I'd like it or not like it. Let's see. The blocks have little sections that if you click them in different spots, it changes the tension. Oh. I wonder if it's like two blocks, that are staggered like teeth, like that. It'll raise the block, kind of like shims. But what's this? Is it drone? FPV. I need some drone information, dude. Like, hook me up. Like, I need a decent, not super expensive drone, if that's what you mess with. Give me some intel. Hit me up in the email, the Daveadubson@gmail.com. I'm getting one. End of this year, I will have one. Says my door hasn't worked since Friday, but they called me on a Sunday. That's kind of weird. Like what did you call all that? Like, who was it? Was it the franchise? I'm just curious. Did I set our cables yesterday? Rusted out? Or are they sprinkling too much salt? Sometimes they get a little crazy with that salt. Especially those the old timers. It's like you can already see it, right? You can already see at the bottom of the door. It's like rusting. You're like, yeah, that's not good. Then you like do all that work, and you're like, the bottom bracket's always goofy and nasty. The roller's all jammed up. And you're like, you need to not spread so much salt. Well, I don't want to slip. I get it. Like I said, I have a total different respect for old people. When I crippled my leg, when I tried chopping off a skill saw and it didn't work out so good, that weakness, it was, I could totally, I walked like an old person. I was like, oh my gosh, if I fall, I'm going to break my hip. And I ended up buying cleats because I had to work on a snowy condition. That was a fun job. So, but I always told myself, if I ever see an old person walking across the parking lot and they're struggling, man, I'm grabbing their arm because that feeling was, not fun. Rusted out. What's Rusty says no. He says no, Dave. Cables are doing the thing where they come untwisted while under tension. Yeah, and so that's why I wonder really about if it makes a difference, because I've thought about it when it goes up the drum and how it spools over a little bit. It's sometimes they have a little bit of a twist. It seems like you always get like in high lift, like the twist is never in. To me, it seems like if I remember right, that it's never in the drum. It's always like below the drum. So like high lift's really easy because you got a lot more, but it'll like unravel it. And so that's why I wonder about left hand, right hand, the way it's wound for spring or for cable. But like I said, I've never had anybody go, dude, I've tested it. You do it this way. I'm 99% sure you will not have ever any problems. Because we see rusty cables too, but typically it's always fray, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like, why did the cable fray right there? Because I've had it before where like the sections when they're going up, they'll chop the cable a little bit, or they get caught on the end style, and that makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, obviously it's clipping right there. Or the way it unspools, it's always like, why did it do that? And I've never documented enough to always go, it's common. To me, in my head, I always feel like it's more the left side, but that could just be in my head. Like I said, I haven't documented it. Now I know what the cable what we get is even considered hand-wise. It's not like when I'm in the service spring book. I don't think I've ever seen a service spring where it goes, do you want left hand or right hand? You think they'd be the ones too. That'd be like, that'd be a good sales tactic, right? You need left hand, you need right hand. You need two. You need two, not one. Think how many more trucks and equipment they could flood. Rich's guys, probably the way they're wound. I'm assuming. I'm like I said, I've only seen it. I think it's the commercial AMAR doors. I don't think residential had it, but I've seen it before. Like I'm like, what is this? Why does it say left hand, right hand? I'm like, come on. I'm like, you joking with me? Oh, Rachel installed them in 2006. 48. She says needs cables. That was a while ago. Doesn't seem that long ago, but that was a while ago. 2006, man. It's amazing how time flies. Tony says, what are you talking about? Straps. If you've seen, ask Evan to send you some pictures or some little video. You'll see the top of that door. We got to bring him up to speed. Make sure, Evan, you get Tony up to speed so we can haunt you. I sold over last week. What do you think, Evan? To take, what was it, about 3 days? I mean, I know it wasn't full days. I'm curious too, Evan. What did you have for hours you think wrapped up in it? I think we were talking the one day. Would you have like about 2 hours for tarot or something like that? I know it's probably me. I'm going to get some hate for this. I'm getting old, but I don't know. I don't even want to consider it to be so much old. I don't know if it's more. I'm more thorough to details now. Where, like I said, that door I did for the U-Haul. Well, it'll be. I don't remember which video that is, but it'll be coming out soon. The back hangs were solid, but then they shorted me. And I could have cheesed it really easy, right? Took a shortcut, but I didn't. Back hangs, I probably could have tried to reuse the cheap little crappy angle they give you with those residential openers, but I didn't. So I mean, all that stuff takes time. Weather seal, I don't think there was anything I could have done about weather seal because they had one chunk. But yeah. Anywho, what do you think about that Performance Max, huh? Limits on the side. Oh man, I was kind of impressed. SOS mentioned on there, he thought maybe that was Brad on the tech support, so I think he must know them. So that's pretty cool. Tech support was great. I was really impressed. Tony about the door install over. What is it called? Strappy struts. I meant no. Someone hit the door and ripped off the hinges. And bottom section kind of flew up one side, and media section started to delaminate. Just a mess. Yeah, it's called replace. It's called either you get another garage door, a cheap one, or I'm going to go get you a blue tarp. That's what I always tell them. I say it's a little better than a blue tarp. Those are, like I said, they're pretty much, once they're done, the hinges are all goofy and stuff. So they're hit. There's no meat. Evan, do you have any video? I have to make a detailed video about the straps. Next install. Absolutely. Like that's not very common. I don't think anybody here deals with straps. I've never even, not for new. I've seen them on like some old doors, like where they like do some bars or something, or maybe like a cable, but never that. No, just old and crusty. Is that me? Am I old and crusty? What does it say? What? Not a torsion spring system? Was it not a torsion spring system? It was. He'll send you some video. If he wants, I'll send it. Otherwise, if he's not got time, we'll get you up to snuff there, Mr. Pop Tony. Don't you worry. We'll get you up to snuff. Like I said, we're gonna dive in deep on Tuesday. We're gonna shoot for that. That's what we're shooting for. What's Eric Scott? He says assault is all eating away at my lower tracks and rollers. Dang. I guess, if it's a wet area, right, guys, we're supposed to put the track up. So that's supposed to help a little bit, like when we, put a couple shims under the track, keep that. One thing I've noticed too. It will, if it's a real dry condition, sometimes I still roll with it. I just hit it right to the ground. A little laziness sometimes, but depends. Normally I can tell when I take out the old track, I'm like, dang, I'm like, this store's been here for 20, 30 years. I'm like, that thing is flawless, but they normally have like a nice eave on the garage, and then they have like gutters and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this thing stays nice and toasty. And maybe the people just, they got whatever, they can just tell how they take care of their stuff. Ah, exactly. Yes, Dave, exactly right. Below the drum. Yeah, I never see them too much. I can't say I've never ever seen them up in the drum, but it's not very common. It seems like it's always below. So to me, it's like that's where it must be getting tension somehow. And then I don't know. I feel like I've looked at it one time where, kind of like just stood there and was bored, and I was watching it, and I was like, I could see how it could get force on it, when you're kind of watching it. And that's why I was like, maybe that's why you need left hand or right hand or whatever one it is. Tony's got, don't forget to hit the like button. Appreciate it. Mr. Tony, Mr. PT. Let's see here. Where are we at? Yes. I was hoping Tanner was here. I was working on, I got a thing in the way here, some Haas doors. Not crystal plastic retainer. Oof. And glue that is visible in the windows. Well, I'm kind of glad Rusty brought that up. I've seen that before. I've seen that. Now I think of it, the glue. I think I've seen it in other manufacturers besides even just Haas. But man, I tell you, like I said, I was so bummed. It sounds like this year too, they're not doing the IDA. It's next year. They're doing some little seminar thing. So next year is going to be. But if anybody knows anything coming up, somewhere, I don't know. That's another sort of event. Just let me know. Like I said, maybe if I can find time or whatever, swing out, check it out, whatever, if it's not too far away and the schedule allows it. But IDA is next year. So I'm definitely going to plan the IDA for next year. I didn't check where it was at, if it's going to be Cali or where it's going to be. But the Haas, what I was getting at is when I went to that, I went to the IDA show, and I was like, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to be talking to these boys, and I was going to be getting me a Haas account. And I remember I'm over there, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, it's got a plastic retainer. And I'm like, I told the guy, I really don't remember it because I dealt with them many, many years ago. And I was like, you guys always have plastic retainers? Like, yeah. And you know how it is. You don't know if he's been there for 2 months or been there for a year or 2 or 3 or been there 20. I don't know. And I was just sitting there kind of looking, yeah, you guys, want some brochures? And I just kept going like, I wanted to go, like, can I upgrade? Maybe you can. But I just thought, oh my gosh. I thought, now I got to deal with this crap. Like, always got to tell them to, hey, don't send me that plastic retainer. The secretary, God bless her heart, she was giving me some crap about the Wayne Dalton one. I just did. She's like, you always complain about that bottom retainer. And I'm like, I do because it's something that they can do. I'm like, like it doesn't make any sense. Like I see absolutely zero benefit, especially when it's an L shape. U shape, I agree. I think Rich has talked about this before. You can adjust it. Sure, you can. 1/4 inch or so, maybe, right? Maybe a 1/2 inch if you got the concretes off. But when it comes to, I don't even know how much, I don't know. When I see an aluminum retainer, which I think even the Clopay ones, even the Ideal ones, I think the Ideal ones, I can't tell. I tap on them. They feel different. They don't look like aluminum, or look like they're a plastic, but they paint it like a gray to look like aluminum. I think they're getting us. Window. What you got here? I think over 3 days, it took around 20 hours. That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, like I said, I kind of drifted off on that. Sorry, it's Sunday, so I'm just free for all here. But no, I just, I was thinking about it. I mean, the one we did, now we took a nice lunch and stuff, and we weren't killing ourselves, but it probably took us about, I think we had probably about 10 hours. Yeah, I'd say we about had 10 hours with So 16 by 7 tear out wood door, doing perimeter seal, doing an opener, putting an opener together. So yeah, we had about 10 hours. And I guess what I get at is nowadays, even for some of you younger guys and stuff like that, I used to easily slam out 3 doors. Easily. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I did it. Now, some were 16 by 7s and maybe 2 9 by 7s or something at a job, but I would just slam those things right out. And I guess determination. I mean, but now it's like, I look at everything and I go, it's going to take a day. It takes a day, because now what I didn't factor in there then is I would just shove everything in the vehicle. I mean, everything looked like a grenade went off in your service vehicle. And then I would never account for all the time behind the scenes of, going back and reloading and dealing with containers that tipped over and nuts and bolts everywhere, and all the batteries are dead in the drills, and, all that time. So now I look at it and it's like, no, you got 30 minutes to an hour to load up in the morning. You got to get to the customer. If you want to take a little break, maybe a 15-minute break or something, right? Get a drink. I mean, but trust me, like when I was hardcore in it, none of that. No lunch. I mean, I'd be clammed up so much, it'd probably take me till 6, 8, 10 o'clock, midnight to take a crap finally. You know what I mean? Just firing those things. Dehydration was always there. Rich's got tech was good. I like that tech, man. The tech was just on point for that performance max, man. He just boom right to the point. I was waiting for like the whole, okay, sir, I need you to settle down. So first, I need you to make sure you plug the unit. I already did that. Okay, second, I need you to check the photo. It's already on. Yeah. He was just right on, man. I loved it. So it's honestly like, it's stuff like that, right? The service that it kind of makes me think. I go, I was even looking at the old Menards, right? They have some on clearance. I don't know if that was one of the clearance ones. I think it was cheap. It was like I almost want to say it was $107 or something. Maybe it was 127 or something like that. And I'm thinking just as a throwaway, these aren't too bad. I didn't check the photo eyes. I don't know if you cross the photo eyes if they'll blink. I really, really, really miss the blinking in the LiftMaster and the Chamberlain. Those were so easy for me to diagnose. I had so many phone calls at nighttime, and I could literally hear. I could be on the phone, right? I could listen. I'd be like, like I could. Is that thing blinking? It's not blinking, but it's clicking. And I'd be like, okay, that's that. The only reason that's clicking is because of a photo eye. Now, obviously, with that Performance Max, that's a different story, because obviously it was a force setting. So I still have no clue how that even happened. But we got it working. I was glad tech support was just boom right on it. And I don't know. I just like the mechanical limits. I like the fact that I'm in control. I didn't have to sit there and recycle the whole thing. Even though I jammed it up and did some goofy things, I think we were having a little bit. I should have had Caleb not be pulling the plug, because I was relying on him versus I was in control. So it was my fault. But it's a Saturday, I think. Took 2 hours with the dump run and fixing gap at the bottom. How'd you get rid of the doors? I'm wondering. Maybe you should save it to Tuesday. Next time I'll know to install a strap on the sawhorses. Yes. That is one thing I catch myself even to this day, especially with the struts, not straps. We don't deal straps, but I will do something, and all of a sudden we get to a third panel, especially normally on the bigger doors, like 12 by 12s or 10 by 10. I'm like, fudge. I'm like, we didn't put the strut. And like whoever I'm working with, like sometimes like with Caleb, he doesn't really understand the magnitude. He's just like, that's not a problem. We just don't put it on. And I'm like, it sucks. I'm like, yes, we can. But I'm like, I should have caught that. Oh man. Especially if you do them by yourself, like you got to do like the middle punch first, and then you got to go to side and go, crap, it's way too much over here. If you got 2 people, it's really not too bad. It's just so much easier on the sawhorses. If anybody's got a brand that they know right off the top of their head that they're like, dude, these are the ones. The sawhorses I got now will have 2x4s in the ends. for whatever reason. I think it's for cutting reasons, wood. But I always like a little wider sawhorse because then if you you can double stack, you know what I mean? Like if you got to put a section, sometimes you can cradle the one side of the sawhorse, but if you got to take, sometimes they put the the top and the bottom together. You can put the top over there and it's kind of safe versus I hate leaning them up against sawhorses because I've had it where somebody picks off the last section, then sawhorses slip out, the top section, boom, hits the ground, scratches, whatever. So I always like sawhorses. I can typically put, two sections on, which I believe the ones I have now I'm pretty close to. But what I should do is I should dedicate them, and then what I should do is put like a 2x6 or even a little wider 2x8 on there as a face because if you stack too much on there with weight, you can crush the front of the back. I guess either way you can kink the door a little bit. What does it say? Straps, struts, SARS, carriage bolts, and washers for pullouts. What is it? What is this one for? Carriage bolts and washers for pullouts. Install straps. Where am I at? I sent Tony, you, and Rusty pictures and video. Perfect. Is this epic? Is it person? Video of that Sears that was in one of your videos. I could try. That house is under. That's a lease. So I don't know if I can get in there. But if I do, otherwise if I come across another one, I can. That was Sears. Was that which one is that? So it got the gray? Or no, it's is that a wood grain? That's a wood grain. What does it say? I believe I always leave 1/4 off the floor. For the track. It's good practice. I'm surprised nobody hasn't made little pucks for them. You know what I mean? Like a little. I mean, really, all I could do is bring like a drink coaster. Those would work pretty good. I thought about those. I just have a problem like when I use shims. They tend to slip out or move while I'm trying to screw down the track. They're kind of annoying. Thanks, Evan. I like the older Ryobi. Ryobi is bad. It's kind of weird. I got a Ryobi saw that I don't know where it came from. I think it came from a rental property, but a little booger still works. It's really light. And I was looking at it the other day, the cord's getting just a little bit chopped up on her, just kind of getting old. And I was like, what is this green little thing? And I was like, son of a biscuit, it's a Ryobi. I was like, this little thing is light as hell. And I said, this thing has worked really good over the years. Just a great saw for when you got to reach across. And I just couldn't believe, I was like, that's a Ryobi. I was like, boy, the boys are giving me crap about the Ryobis. I know. I think they don't make the openers anymore. They had all kinds. I wanted one with the radio and all that. I thought that'd just be kind of cool. I knew it was. I had in my head that it was going to be not that good, but man, I guess that's what happened. They quit making them, as far as I know. I like older women. Let's see, guys. I sent you Tony picture of the slots of those straps. Perfect. Older openers can have rare parts on them. I'm surprised somebody hasn't came out with making covers, because you know how many openers are out there that the covers always break or they hit the ground and smash. I'm always like, man, can't somebody just get like a replica and find a way to start 3D printing them? I thought you might have yourself a little business there. But those old openers with the belts in them, and those things run forever. Rich B's got IDE Vegas, baby, since April 14th, 17th. Where's it at? What state? What state's it in there? State and city, if you got it. Mr. Rich. Oh, sorry. It says right here, IDA, it says Vegas. Gotcha. Gotcha. Happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas. George Rich. That was Georgia, probably. Let's see here. Chamberlain sensors. The green one will blink. Misaligned, so you know it's not wire issues. Yeah, it seems like the new photo eyes are pretty. I definitely would give that, to like the LiftMaster Chamberlain. The photo eyes, the lights are really bright. I mean, they're very obvious, which is really nice. It just really bums me that it's like whatever happened with the lawsuit or whatever, they had to get rid of that blinking. That I just don't know what it is. I really enjoyed the blinking. That was my like, oh, it's blinking. Obviously a photo eye issue. Like where that's why when I was working at Performance Max, I was like, why? Like, so typically what I do is because the chain's off, so we get our limits somewhat close. I would hit the button. My go-to always was to run down and cross the photo eye, right? Because when you hear the opener running, you don't know which way it's going. Is it going up or down? Especially with the trolley not being attached. So I was trying to go down the stairs to flip, put my foot in front of the photo eye so I could hear it reverse back up. And before I could even get down, it's doing that blinking, and I'm like, this ain't good. Like, is this going to be a circuit board? And so I just automatically jumped to in my head. I said, you know what? Let's just call tech support instead of me reading the troubleshooting. Let's just see what tech support's even like. This will be a good learning experience, for you guys and for me. And I was impressed. I was so impressed that honestly, I would consider them. But I definitely, I forget who made the comment, but maybe it was Andy, I don't know. But it was like, it was one of those things that I was like, if it needs something, we're just going to install a whole new one. You know what I mean? Like I'm not replacing parts on this thing. Not a chance. You know what I mean? Like LiftMaster and stuff. Okay. Genies, I even frown upon. I've had so many problems over the years with Genies with like the residential ones where they'll send you parts and the parts come in and they don't work.